If you walk the halls of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, you might notice a bit of a Texas twang reverberating throughout the labs in Southern California. Why? It's because UT boasts more JPL engineers than any non-California school outside of MIT. And that connection goes back more than 60 years, beginning with the dawn of the space race.
Today, a new moon is in the sky, a 23-inch metal sphere placed in orbit by a Russian rocket.
The Russians put a spacecraft up. There was a little bit of panic. You know, how could they do that? How could we be behind?
You are hearing the actual signals transmitted by the Earth-circling satellite, one of the great scientific feats of the age.
It was a surprise to most of us on the street. I mean, there was no awareness that Russia was doing this, and there was a great deal of concern about ostensibly being behind, and then an immediate stimulation about trying to begin to get involved in attacking it. That sort of precipitated the activities of trying to get a program off the ground.
The original program began in 1960, when UT assistant professor Byron Tapley was asked to teach UT's first ever course in aerospace engineering. In the years since, UT has become a partner with NASA and JPL, and Dr. Tapley has become legendary.
Byron Tapley is really the literal kind of father of our department. He really helped us establish our space program and help us make a name for ourselves.
Dr. Tapley was trying to create a space-related program. He basically wanted to be a person that not only led at the local level, but led at the national level.
The early part of the program, I worked to try to help get the first NASA grant in place here at the university. And I think from that point on, we recognized not only from a national basis, but on an international basis as being one of the preeminent programs in the area.
The program's status was submitted in 1969, when UT Aerospace alum Alan Bean became the fourth person to walk on the moon. More recently, 4 Longhorns spearheaded the Mars Curiosity landing, a $2.5 billion JPL project. Known as the Texas Mafia at JPL, all played pivotal roles in landing that 2,000-pound rover last August.
When Curiosity landed on Mars, what I felt was, I have seen a miracle.
I mean, think about it. It's like shooting a needle from Earth to Mars and be able to land it within that, 10-kilometer by 20-kilometer circle. And it has to land exactly that point.
We are decelerating.
And if one thing goes wrong, you're not there. Thousands of engineers have to work together to be able to figure out how to land this thing on another planet.
Touchdown confirmed. We're safe on Mars.
For me, it was a bit surreal because it's happening 100 and some million miles away, right? And it doesn't sound real even when you are involved. But once it happened, it was a huge relief.
People who worked on this project for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, and it's like their baby. It feels like what you were working on for the past 10 years, it was all worth it.
It's extremely rewarding when you actually get a chance to actually watch them as they're succeeding in one of the more important endeavors. And each time you see one of those, you take pride in what little bit you've been able to do here to help them with the success that they achieve out there.
The current generation of self-proclaimed space nuts is continuing this tradition of excellence. The latest initiatives include a satellite project called GRACE and the student-run nano-satellite group, Armadillo. What are they doing? Building satellites and launching them into space.
When I worked at NASA, which I did before I came here, that was what excited me, was working on the missions, the satellites that fly in space. And I love it that at the university now, our students can experience that before they even take their first jobs.
We're taught a lot of really interesting, fun topics in the classroom, but they also take those and allow us to do hands-on projects with them as well.
We teach all these students 4 years of doing stuff in their classes. And then at some point, they go to the satellite design lab and actually put all the stuff they've learned into practice, and they design these satellites. So this is big, and it's becoming bigger and bigger every day.
The fact that this collectively is recognized as being an important program by NASA, by the international community, I think that's important, and I take pride in that, but it's as much something that the individuals that have come through here take pride in, too.
We feel that the University of Texas has a role to play in what the future is. We see ourselves as kind of a partner or contributor to the future of the nation's aerospace program. So I would say our goal is to maximize our footprint, to have as much of an impact as we can have. And I think we have been successful at increasing our impact over the last 10 or 20 years, and we want to see that continue.